Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Kris. Hope everyone had a great 4th of July weekend. I'm strictly talking to the non-American audience when I ask that. You're supposed to celebrate American independence, right? Isn't that how it goes? Just joking. I muted on the throw and I unmuted it when it hit in the garbage, so that was stupid. Don't worry. I got a cherry hard soda. So we're gonna do this one. This was a Craig Thompson. Wow. I apologize. This is Craig's request. I did a different one. Dark 5 did it. It wasn't very good. So I'm doing this one. It's a two-parter. This is top 5 most mysterious video games, and then there's another one right after this is a part 2. And so I'm just gonna do that, and then I'll put them both out at the same time, and I'll just kind of count them as one video. Or I can do this one, then jump into the other one. No, I'll break them down into 2 videos, and then I don't know. I'll do it though. Don't worry. Oh. I gotta make sure that this alcohol drink tastes good though. It's goddamn delicious. Okay, let's get on with the video.
Don't add up sometimes. Usually games are pretty well marketed and publicized, but sometimes they're meant to be elusive, or they're kept secret to hide potential sinister motives. No matter the history, these games remain a mystery to this day. Hey guys, ArcadeCloud here, and today we're counting down our top 5 most mysterious video games. If you're new to our channel, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with some friends. It's free. Starting us off today at number 5, we have the scariest game title on our list, Hall of Tortured Souls. A new Souls game? No, actually, this one was developed by Microsoft, not FromSoft. Okay, so it's not a game on its own, technically. Funnily enough, this is a game that's hidden in none other than Microsoft Excel. What? It's only in Excel 95, however. It features a first-person perspective and a lot of colored walls. Microsoft was actually working on a port of Doom for Windows 95 at the time, and the Microsoft Office team allegedly got a portion of the code they were using to port the game and made this with it instead. The developers' names are on the walls inside the game world, and if you type Excel FKA in reference to Doom's id FKA code, you're able to walk through a certain wall into a gallery of old photos of the Microsoft team. Who would have thought that the world's most relied on spreadsheet-making, data processing platform would have a Doom tribute hidden in it? Some conspiracy theorists think that this is more proof in an ongoing theory that Bill Gates is the Antichrist. I mean, believe whatever you want, but I think the name Hall of Tortured Souls is an in-joke about the backbreaking work the Microsoft team did in the office on the daily. And plus, how could the Antichrist live with himself if he donated as much as Bill Gates does to charities? It just doesn't check out. It's still a pretty cool Easter egg though, and there's not a whole lot of info about why it was kept in the software for its final release. So maybe this was the work of something supernatural. Who knows? It's not like any interviews from 95 exist pertaining to the secret, so I guess we'll never truly know. Moving on to some more mysterious entries here, at number 4 we have Pokemon Black. No, not the official Pokemon Black. This game was supposedly for the original Game Boy and Game Boy Color, and had a black cartridge that was simply labeled Pokemon, with empty space beneath the logo. It's unclear of where this game originated because the first recorded mentioning of it was from a creepypasta. Now I know a lot of you
I never played Pokemon.
will be skeptical here about the validity of this pasta, as most creepypastas tend to be full of lies, but in this particular pasta, nothing paranormal happens outside of the game. A lot of these alleged haunted games come with stories about how the game made players go insane or hurt themselves or others, but this one is actually pretty tame. As the story goes, the author purchased this cartridge at a flea market. The game wasn't widely distributed, so it seemed like this one was one of few, or the only one in existence. The gameplay was pretty much identical to Pokemon Red, but you had an additional Pokemon other than your starter at the beginning of the game called Ghost. It has one move called Curse, which makes the screen go black during battle while the Pokemon being attacked lets out its cry, but lower in pitch than normal. The battle screen would come back up and the Pokemon would be gone. The author inferred that the Pokemon had died. If you were battling a trainer, after defeating the trainer, the battle commands would come back up. You could select Run to end the battle normally, or you could use Curse again. If you did, the trainer's sprite in the overworld would also disappear. When you left the area and came back, in place of the trainer, there would be a tombstone. After completing the game and beating...
That kind of reminded me of Legend of Zelda. The how they were walking, the whole gameplay. I'm talking about the original Nintendo. I'm eating wings. Sorry, they're delicious. Garlic Parmesan. Oh, I'm gonna get heartburn tonight.
The Elite Four, the game fades to black again, showing the text many years later. Your in-game character is now an old man, and the overworld is completely empty. If you travel back to Pallet Town and stand on the very first tile you start the game on, you're shown every Pokemon you used Curse on, as well as every trainer. Then, after another cut to black, you're thrown into a battle against Ghost, but you don't have any Pokemon. Your only option is to fight, which reduces your health. Once your health goes critical, Ghost attacks, making your screen turn black again. Once you get to this point, there's no progression. So the only option is to turn the game off and back on again. When you do, the file has been erased and the only option is New Game. Now, I've actually dabbled in Pokemon ROM hacking in the past, and I can tell you that if I managed to make that many edits to the game's code, I'd be posting it everywhere I could, not just making a single copy and selling it to a flea market. Again, whether or not this story is true is still a mystery, but it is pretty freaky to think about playing something that morbid with the Pokemon name on it. At number 3 today, we've got a game called Kill Switch. Not a lot is known about this game, as it's an urban legend. There's not a whole lot of proof that it ever existed, but there is gameplay footage on YouTube. Is it a remake made because of the legend's success? Maybe, but it looks pretty similar to the screenshots of the game that were supposedly taken some time ago. The game is a survival horror game, and a short one at that, taking place in an abandoned mineshaft. You take control of one of two characters named Porto or Gast. The game was developed by a company called Carvina Corporation and was released in 1989. Only 5,000 to 10,000 copies of the game were created, and once you completed the game would erase all traces of itself and become unplayable. People actually petitioned Carvina to release more copies of the game, but they refused, releasing a statement in 1990 that read, "Kill Switch was designed to be a unique playing experience. Like reality, it is unrepeatable, irretrievable, and illogical. One might even say ineffable. Death is final, death is complete. The fates of Porto and her beloved Gast are as unknowable as our own. It is the desire of Carvina Corporation that this be so, and we ask our customers to respect that desire. Rest assured, Carvina will continue to provide the highest quality of games to the West, and that Kill Switch is merely one among our many wonders." Seems weird. Why would a company not want to make more money on their game? As the urban legend goes, a sealed copy of the game was found suddenly on eBay and was sold for $733,000 to a man named Yamamoto Ryuichi. Sorry if I butchered that, my Japanese isn't very good. He made the promise.
If anyone wants, I have one of those games, completely sealed, and I will sell it for $1 million. But you also have to sign a waiver that you won't sue me when you find out it's a lie. Agreed?
That he would record gameplay of the game and post what he found to YouTube. The only video he posted, however, was a video of him crying at the character selection screen. This video has since disappeared, which seems pretty suspicious, but still, people aren't quite sure if this is all fake, or if there's actually a hint of truth to this story. Moving on to number 2 now with Berserk. Now this game actually does exist. It's a well-documented real game. It's a basic arcade shooter with some robots and an evil smiley face called Evil Otto. It was actually one of the first arcade games to use speech synthesis, something that would be used more often in games in the future, but it was a groundbreaking new feature at the time, making it a fairly big hit in the arcades. It seems pretty innocent, but actually this game has been linked to 3 alleged deaths, 2 of them being officially proven. We're going to talk about one of these deaths today, but not both, as we've got our number 1 to get to. The story goes that a young college student named Jeff Daly had just beaten the high score to the game, and afterwards he collapsed and died of a heart attack. Was the high stress of the action-packed game enough to literally kill someone? Enough to stop their heart? Well, no. It turns out that Daly had a pre-existing heart condition, and according to the arcade owner, he was fairly obese. He had run upstairs to the second floor of the arcade to play the game, so he was already out of breath from the moment he got there. So is the game a killer? Probably not.
Yeah.
Did it have something to do with his heart attack?
No.
Maybe.
No,
The story is definitely creepy, and thanks to my paranoia, I'm not touching Berserk with a 10-foot joystick. No heart failure for me, thanks. And finally, at number 1 today, we have, of course, Polybius. The legend is so famous, it's gotten featured in an episode of The Simpsons. Many people have created replica arcade cabinets of it, and it lives on as one of gaming's biggest conspiracy theories. The legend has it that this game existed for a very brief period of time in Portland, Oregon, and its suburbs. Only 1 copy of the game existed, or very few of them at least. The gameplay was very similar to Tempest, an Atari game, and people would line up in the arcade to play it. Allegedly, this arcade game was co-created by the US government as part of a secret mind control experiment on the public. The reports are varied, but most agree that the game had
That was my stomach saying that's hogwash. So I apologize.
subliminal messaging on screen that would slowly condition the players while they were lost in the swirling colors and intense visuals. Men in Black were supposedly seen coming to collect data from the cabinets, as if to check in on the results of the mind-altering effects. Players were reported to have insomnia, paranoia, and experience hallucinations. Some accounts even suggest that it led players to depression and suicide. Some people speculate that the game could have even contained an aerosolized drug that was sprayed at players to enhance the effectiveness of the mental conditioning.
What?
Now, while all of this is pretty spooky stuff, the scariest part is that there might actually be some truth to this legend. Atari, the makers of Tempest, had collaborated with the US government to create a military simulation for training new tank drivers, and public experiments like this have been conducted by the US in the past. MK Ultra comes to mind, a widespread experiment on the effects of psychoactive drugs and mental conditioning. There were few survivors, and most of the records were burned, except for a few, and when those came to light,
Okay. All right. I gotta say, I think that's a bunch of bunk. It's a bunch of malarkey. It's a bunch of tomfoolery. Now, having said that, I could totally see it being possible.
the US erupted in paranoia. I mean, how scary is it that you could just be taken off the sidewalk and forced to endure mental and physical torture by the government? So it's no wonder this urban legend got such a good grip on the online gaming community. It could be true. The evidence is inconclusive, but honestly, I think that maybe, just maybe, that might be what the Men in Black wanted it to be. Laughed at as an urban legend and nothing else. There you have it, our list of the top 5 most...
I have not heard of... outside of Pokemon, I haven't heard of any of those games. I don't keep up with any games, really, so I didn't really know much about this. Interesting. I think I'm going to... Since I still have alcohol left, it'd be rude to not drink the rest of that. And then I'm going to have to get ready for bed because I have to go in early again. So, we're going to end this here, Craig. I'm going to do part 2 next. I don't know if these were the videos you wanted, but I did do the Dark 5. It was a shorter video, and I contributed nothing. So we're doing this one. All right. Have a good day. Have a good night.